This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And make sure to order Jamie Glazov's new critically acclaimed jihadist psychopath. How he is charming, seducing, and devouring us. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, #MeToo gets Chris Matthews. The cheerleader of the Avenatti Stormy Daniels circus meets poetic justice. My friends, tonight's Jamie Glazov Moment is credited to Lloyd Billingsley's front pages article, #MeToo gets Chris Matthews. We're very grateful to him for this article, and the Jamie Glazov Moment wants to discuss what he wrote. So recently, MSNBC's Chris Matthews announced that he was retiring. And he announced this in this little segment he did on MSNBC. And he said that it was going to be his last hardball. And he announced that the younger generation was, quote, ready to take the reins. Such a nice guy, letting the younger generation take over. But something else was obviously in play. And as Lloyd Billingsley reports, it appears that the longtime MSNBC host had made some inappropriate comments on a woman's appearance. And he had come to realize, and he confessed it in his retirement announcement, that such things are never okay. You know, those are the dreaded dark ages, commenting on a woman's appearance. What were those people thinking back then? Oh, sorry. Now, the GQ columnist Alora Bassett has recently accused Matthews of, quote-unquote, inappropriately flirting with her 4 years ago. So that's what's going on here. So apparently in the makeup chair, Matthews was reportedly asking Bassett, quote, "Why haven't I fallen in love with you yet?" And then in another time, he had made comments about her red dress. Why isn't this guy in jail already? Wow, I don't know. Anyway, Bassett was uncertain if any of this amounted to illegal sexual misconduct. But Matthews' recent collision with Elizabeth Warren over Michael Bloomberg's prior comments and behavior prompted Bassett to come forward and to speak out. So that's the timeline here. So all of this has led to MSNBC pulling the plug on Matthews. But there's some other stuff that has emerged that we know about that Lloyd Billingsley has reported. And Lloyd reports that, quote, a female staffer was paid severance by NBC after accusing Chris Matthews of sexual harassment. Now, that was noted by Aaron Niren in Variety back in 2017, as Lloyd reports in his story. Now, Matthews had reportedly, quote, made inappropriate comments and jokes about this female staffer in front of other people. The unnamed woman left the show, reportedly with a payment of $40K. According to the story, Matthews received a formal reprimand at that time, but remained on the show. So, what are we getting to here? Why did I want to do this Jamie Glazov Moment tonight? You know, I'm kind of interested in how utopian revolutions eat their own children. So, one of Matthews' favorite guests was the porn lawyer, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti. And Matthews had hyped him up in the war against, in MSNBC's war against Trump. And Matthews, as we know, was all in on this Stormy Daniels story, on her accusations. He had Avenatti on. He was one of his favorite guests. Avenatti was always on MSNBC. And Matthews was promoting this whole thing about Trump. And then there were these narratives he engaged in about Trump paying the bills to Stormy Daniels. And then Matthews was asking, where's the money coming from? Was it getting funneled from the Russians potentially to help him make these payments? You know, MSNBC was involved in all this stuff. Stormy Daniels, the payments, the Russians. You know, Matthews had a field day with all of that. And he used Avenatti as one of his favorite guests to hype all of this madness up and all of this Trump derangement syndrome up. So like colleague Rachel Maddow, Chris Matthews was all in on the Russian hoax and on Avenatti. And he took the Russian hoax so seriously and hyped it up so much that he had the porn star, lawyer Michael Avenatti, on his show. So where do we stand now? Well, Avenatti is in jail today. That's a whole other story of poetic justice. And Matthews is no longer in MSNBC. So Matthews used the hashtag #MeToo utopian totalitarian revolution for his own anti-Trump purposes. And so, you know, all these accusations, all these allegations of Stormy Daniels, etc. Matthews was swimming in all of that. And he used #MeToo for all those purposes. And then Chris Matthews was devoured by the hashtag #MeToo movement. So the story goes on how utopian revolutions eat their own. And in the case of a lowlife like Chris Matthews, it's sweet, poetic justice. We'll see you soon on the next Jamie Glazov Moment. Good night.